Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Watumishi podcast, and I'm your host. You can call me Garvillo. Muziq is my name. Our episodes and conversations are sponsored by Sauti Gang Studios located in Current Village along Kong Road. So in case you have any nature of conversation of the same, you can be able to reach us out through the phone number attached, so that you can be able to be booked a session and can be able to do your conversations or whatever content that you have. And Watumishi podcast, we are known for the home of inspirational conversations where we bring different personalities across different fields of entertainment and industry to just come and just give us their stories of how they're able to overcome the different challenges to be where they are at. You can advertise with us through watumishipodcast@gmail.com. Reach us out there and we can be able to make a communication, and we can be able to liaise on how we can be able to advertise maybe your products on the pod. Our social media handles is on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify is Watumishi Podcast, so you can be able to get more content concerning the same. So today in our pod we have a man of many titles. He's a musician, he's a graphic designer, he's a financial investor and consultant. He's the CEO of Spillified Experience. He's a pro saxophonist. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the one and only Spilla.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello. Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's an honor to be here.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe I can just start by breaking down. I saw something like Muziq, African band.
Oh, it's Muziq.
Muziq. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. The meaning behind it is the music is the key.
Muziq.
Muziq. Yes.
Profound.
Creativity hapa na pale.
Sasa hii tukikutumia M-Pesa inakuja Spilla.
Itakuja tu Spilla because nilijipata nayo. Nilijipata nayo jina.
Okay.
Thanks to my folks. So that's my name. I'm Spilla. Kavugu. Yes. Yenda ya Africa hapa.
Wow. Okay, so you just want to get to know your journey from your birth, growth until coming out as a niche as a wind blower instrumentalist. That is you play the sax majorly. That is what you're known for in the industry, and maybe you'll be able to tell us even how many instruments. I believe you maybe unaweza kuwa unacheza instruments ka 15 utatuambia zote. So maybe just want to know, as we break down, where were you born, how did you grow up?
So being born is here. I was born in Nairobi, pale Pumwani. Born and raised sini hapa Nairobi, na I've been raised in Dagoretti. Mimi kijana Dagoretti. Dago. Now pale Kinyanjui, and basically that's where I childhood foundation imetoka hapo na paka pale tuko sasa.
Wow. On your musical capabilities, is it a family genealogy stuff, or is it you're just own bred?
I would say it's a matter of influence and interest, because as I grew up, my older brother who's ahead of me, I saw him indulging a lot of musical activities in the creative arts department, and it took a lot of interest from me. Okay. So I just wanted to do it. Like when I saw him, this is the thing I want to do it. But still young then, I wasn't equipped with with enough knowledge for me to center myself there. And when you're a kid, you have how a kid is with concentration. So you like this, the next minute,
change in a shift.
So I would see my brother do something musical or tell me stories of him in the music festival and all that. I say, I want to do that. Then at the same time, you go play outside football, suddenly you want to become like Messi. So that's my path. I watched him a lot. I watched my mother even singing in this choir, in the choir in church. So it's influence and interest really took
played a big role.
Role in my musical setting.
Awesome. Where did you study? You can share out the different institutions you studied in.
So obviously my primary education, I studied at Lavington Primary.
Hey.
Yeah.
To la vie, okay?
Yeah. High school, coincidentally, I went to Pumwani High School. I was born. Yeah, and university, I went to KU. Yeah, Kenyatta University.
What did you study in KU?
KU. Now KU, I took media and communication.
Media and communication.
Yeah. Now that's where the graphic design was born too. Yeah.
Hey, amazing. So, you have such huge titles. I've seen graphic designer, financial investor, consultant. Yeah. That's also what you practice?
Oh, yeah, I practice that because I'm a big fan of investing, especially in the young people. I really like I do a lot of research in terms of investment, especially financial investments, because I feel like the state of our nation, especially the young people, we are not really equipped with financial literacy.
Knowledge,
So I do a lot of research in the financial department.
So nikutafute pesa, nitafute pesa nikutafute ama nitafute pesa?
Vice versa.
Amazing. Yeah. So across the primary and secondary levels, there is where music build up in your career?
Yeah, so in primary, just an interest, general interest here and there in church, there. And I would say church really played a big role in my music foundation, because that's where I got to even touch like a keyboard for the first time and all those things. So I got to interact with the instruments here and there. But where everything blew up was in high school, because now that's when I really discovered that yes, I want to become a musician. I want to become a good musician. And I found the right setting, because historically speaking, like this high school that I went, they really dominate in music, even in the music festivals, they really dominate. So I found the right setting, the right place where I grew musically. So through the teachings of my music teacher and some apprenticeship, because I found older guys there who were already indulged in the music. And interesting, there are quite famous faces that are in the music industry that I really learned from them, who are really setting fire kwa music industry.
Unaweza shout out, no problem. Shout out too. Yeah, you can be able to.
One of my teachers, like Lennox, who plays in the African Muse Band, Kina the Hornspheres, those people, So they taught me. They taught me. I learned from them. See, like a small form one, just looking up to people, like, hey, I really like to play this thing. So some of those people. So
maybe I just wish to know, as music caught up with you in the different learning and environments, what was the first maybe instrument that you got into, or you got into singing first, or you got what was the breakthrough for you?
The very first experience with now me musically being technical, I started with the choir. I joined the high school choir, and that's where my musical journey began. So we in the choir, we sang. I was singing tenor 1. Obviously, I'm a form 1, so you just have to sing tenor 1. You Sauti bado ni kadogo. So I started there. I learned a lot of singing. By the funny thing, people don't know I actually can sing, because I'm accustomed to instruments. But I do sing because I sang in the choir for 4 years. Then as I got older in school, from 2 there, I still had the general interest on instruments. So I pursued one of my mentors. He said, I want to learn this thing. And you and you're small, that conversation there. But he encouraged me, and from there I started learning the instruments. I started with the sax. So I started learning sax, but as fate would have put it, I switched my general interest in the sax, and I went back to play the clarinet. So I don't know why I liked it, but I think it stems from my my childhood years when I used to watch SpongeBob SquarePants, so I used to see him play the clarinet there. So I think it stems from there.
Fancy,
yeah. So I played the clarinet, but I don't know. Fate is just something else. The following year in high school, the Form 4s were leaving now. Me, I was in Form 3. So I was the next in line because they just approached me. The teacher approached me. I'm next in line to take the mantle of playing the sax. So all through high school, general interest in horns, and still to date, number one advocate on the horns. People who play horns.
So far, how many instruments do you play? You've talked about clarinet.
I play clarinet. I play the sax. I play flute. I play. So I came to learn the trombone too. But after high school. So that's another different story by the way. We'll get to that. So but as per now, then the guitar came and and piano. Piano was a standard for a music student. So you just have to learn piano.
So situkuache tu zote then. Because as it is unaenda tukibreak down some even the bass So you've talked about mentorship or apprenticeship that happened in that in the line of where people were changing from moving maybe out of high school.
And
maybe was that a point where now you got someone who was able to guide you through how to play the sax, or maybe were there also other avenues that have contributed to your knowledge in terms of how you play?
Since it was high school, that was the only mode, because it's boarding school. The knowledge you receive is from each other.
Yes.
And the peers and the older peers and the teacher, my music teacher, and through some research when we used to have like internet time, and we do a lot of research there and there. And we do our musical arrangements, which we used to perform in the music festivals and all that. So mentorship played a very big role in my musical growth.
So across your growth, which are some of the music genres that maybe you've interacted with much in terms of muziki gani umesikia sana?
So again, we go back to the influence thing. Growing up, my father is a lover of rumba and lingala. So generally African jazz. So I used to really love like how the arrangements were done, like the rumba, lingala, those things. So and how Fate would have put it, when I got to school, that's the music like they used to really do a lot in school, because we used to do a lot of zilizopendwas and all that. So I was really immersed in African jazz, and still to date, that's my main genre of music. Me, I'm an African jazz saxophonist before anything else. Because that's my mode of, that's my favorite actually.
So it means the music that you listen to kind of influenced what you indeed came to be love and
exactly.
Amazing.
Like, I'm an old young man. You know?
Ama ndio maana umevaa hiyo kofia.
It should tell you.
Hii kofia iko na nini? Unajua labda iko na
inabeba nguvu yake. Nguvu yake.
Wow, amazing indeed. So I believe you've grown up with different challenges, of course, in the how to learning an instrument is not easy, as people presume. And maybe what are the elements or what are the attributes you've learned across? What has made you still remain at par in terms of your instrument? Day in, day out, you're still giving out your quality.
For me, the word perfect to me, that it's like illegal in terms of music. For me, being perfect. It's illegal. So those are the things that I use. And I usually call myself an upcoming artist because that gives you that gives you the room to expand, to practice. And competition really plays a big role in my practices, because I could listen to let's even use my high school days. Like we go for the music festivals, you hear these guys like maybe Sarai boys, they're doing a really good arrangement. So it's like it gives you that fire. I have to go and pull up my socks on this and this and this. So competition, challenging each other, and removing the word perfect in your vocabulary, because if you're perfect, then why are you practicing at the end of the day? True, yeah. So that builds consistency. It builds a lot of consistency in you, and you treat it like it's your first time. So that's why I usually call myself an upcoming artist, because each and every day I get to learn, I get to do this and this and this. And funny enough, I interact with new music almost every day. When I go for my research in YouTube archives, I interact with a lot of like new music, which challenges me actually.
Who are some of the musical icons who have been, I can call them icons or personalities, who have shaped you, kind of not knowing maybe their music, or maybe you have had a one-on-one with them?
So that one-on-one kills my first icon, but it's okay.
Either you can say either.
Obviously, the first icons are the TPOK jazz, those people who used to do the Lingala and Rumba of the ancient times. The second one is growing up in church. Obviously, I used to love Kakwelam. Kakwelam is a like a really good saxophonist who has been in the industry for a good quite of bit of time. And those are the international. Going back to local, I would say Zengala. We used to do a lot of bango back in the day, and among others. I have a lot of icons actually.
Given $1 million and told Spiller, get another instrument apart from sax, would you go for it?
Interesting.
Entirely in your lifetime. That is entirely in your lifetime.
In my entirety of my...
Yes.
Just to for creative purposes, I'll take the money and buy a very good sax. I'll actually take the money and buy a really good sax, because it's the instrument finds you. You don't find the instrument. It actually finds you and grabs on you. So inaonekana hiyo pesa itanitoka. Itanitoka.
If you're told we've closed all horn instruments, which other instrument will you likely go for?
So in terms of sheer interest, I now play guitar. I will go for the guitar because I really love the acoustic, so I'll go for the guitar.
Oh, amazing. Wow. Nice. So entering now to the professional music entry point, which was your debut in terms of, say, this is the time that now you noticed, I'm now getting into the professional scene in terms of my attraction and everything that I do. Which year, if you remember, which year was it, and maybe what was the highlight that?
So being on the limelight in terms of like sheer recognition, I was recognized in school, like in schools like these guys, the band ya Pumwani and all that, these guys are really good. So the limelight was still there in high school, but when we really hit the limelight was in 2021, when actually now I started really gigging out here. And we used to do, as Muziq Africa, we used to do a lot of practices in the Conservatoire School of Music in Tao. They had the National Theatre. So I would say it was 2021. We got like a good gig there. It was a church gig, but it was more of an event. So we did that event, and it just became like this is what I want to do. This is like the exact thing I want to do. So basically, and others followed.
Yeah, as you
some,
grow, people see people.
see people. Now bigger stages.
True.
Bigger stages.
True. Oh, wow. What are the attributes you've learned over time as you as yourself that you feel someone maybe who wants now to get into that aspect of specializing on a specific instrument needs to know in terms of learning, in terms of maybe the patience, in terms of process? What is the process? What are the things that you feel like they need to check in their check boxes to know that for you to get to this level, there are things that you need to have?
Oh, yeah. So the first thing, we live in a diverse world. Now we live in a very connected, like an easy to get world right now. But learning an instrument, we just go back to the first philosophy that I usually use. You trust the process. Learning an instrument, you just have to trust the process because literally you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to sit down. If you are transcribing something, you have to actually transcribe it.
Kabisa.
So trusting the process here, hakunanga shortcut. You have no shortcut in learning an instrument. You literally have to do it. Yeah, you have to sit down and apply discipline. Apply discipline and patience too. Yeah, if musicians now how frustrating actually practices can get, but you have to be patient with your practicing. Actually apply discipline and faith plays a big role too. Have faith and believe in yourself that you can do it. Yeah.
Wow, amazing indeed. Talking about bandits and talking about now you playing with different musicians who play different instruments. What do you do to just gel into before even the playing bit? What are some of the things that you do individually? So umekuja umepata just new set of instrumentalists, hata ujai waona wajui ndo umeona hapo.
So first
what are some of the breakers there?
I'm a bubbly person. So I am of a witty nature. So I just come, I greet you. First impression is everything.
Matters.
Yeah, it matters.
True.
And how someone will perceive you, it's by the way you look, by the way you talk, and by like generally too, like in the first meeting. So I'll just come and greet them. If there is something to break the tension, like a good joke, I'll break the tension. Yeah, just get creative with it and get to interact with them. Because showing interest in someone actually it's a good gesture.
Yeah, true.
So I show interest. Hey, umekuwa kwapi? Yeah. So, and we just connect to all, because musicians connect. Just connect over the small things, and the tension is broken from there, and
now you start
we
to
just build chemistry there in our music.
Okay. So something that also amuses me is, music is made up of very many different instruments, and I believe timings for each and every instrument is critical. And maybe for you as a saxophonist, how do you strike the balance of when to indulge? For example, you are doing a track, let's say you're just doing one song, but how do you get the balance of when to get into the song, when to get out, when to interlude, when to
moments in music. I understand. It's actually a learning curve for me, because I've been learning that through the course of my entirety music career. I'll quote a friend of mine, a good guitarist, Jack Muguna. He actually sat me down and we were doing a good conversation some time back. And one thing struck me, where he said, less is more when you're playing music. So for my entirety since that day, I know less is more. So when I actually play, now I'm in the music,
in the band setting,
I know, for me, less is more. For band chemistry, less is more. because everyone plays a part in the music. For that music to be composed the way it is, someone has to play this part. If it's the keys, if it's the bass, so less is more for me. So that's one component that I actually use, and it drives the music. And when you actually if you have played music for quite a bit of time, you'll know. You'll just know. It's instinct. Music actually becomes an instinct for you.
Producer umesikia? Less is more. Usisahau hiyo kitu mahali. And being the blowing instruments, I believe they are quite, we don't have so many people in that space. Is it a matter of it's challenging, or is a matter of interest, of growth and all that?
So
what do you think?
I had said a bit of both, by the way, because learning it's challenging. Learning and wind instruments, it's challenging because there is an aspect that is introduced now. You have to use your breathing capacity. You have to use your mouth. You have to use your lungs. You still have to use your fingers. So there's a component that it is introduced, which actually it's quite challenging. It's quite challenging, and I would say sheer interest, because with learning a wind instrument, I promise you, the first few months there'll be hell for you. A lot of people quit within the first few months because it's challenging. You'll break your mouth. You'll start feeling winded because now you're using a lot of air. So, and you have to build lung capacity too. So, So, no wonder I was talking with the producer when I was saying, like, we really drink a lot of water because it's challenging. And, once something becomes challenging, there's another thing. But I would say that it's only interesting when you actually look at it. But when you actually now get to it, now the challenge comes from there. But if you're disciplined enough,
So in short, you're saying someone who wants to learn such wind instruments need first to gain capacity. Ya kupumua.
No, you're going to lose. Just know air is going to play a very big role in your playing. So it plays almost, it's not even 99% because you're a wind instrument.
You have to hold notes.
You have to hold notes. You have to really push notes, push the air. There's some phrases you can't, if I use the musical term staccato, you can't staccato. You have to play like continuously. So those are the few nitty-gritties that you really have to look at and actually play.
In your own experience, how long do you feel it took you to just now be at a place where you can say you're in a intermediate place now, where you're playing without so much struggle now, at least?
Yeah, I would say it goes back to high school, because high school, when you're actually, I believe peer learning is the best, because when I was in high school, I took few months, like 6 months to a year. And I was already playing, but I wouldn't say intermediate, but like I could play. Give me a song, I'll play for you. So with a lot of peer learning too, and this guy's already mastered this thing. Hey, let me push myself. So being around peers who are the same interest really pushed me a lot to do what I actually do now.
The vision. Oh wow, amazing. So kwanza watu wajue they need water. If you want to play instruments, plenty of water. In short, nunua tu dispenser. Ukae na hapo kana. Okay. Have you ever missed a note while playing, let's say for example, a very beat in practice, beat at a concert, beat at a gig that you do?
It goes back to the word perfect. If you find that even an event or a concert that this thing was perfect, nothing happened. No. The only thing perfect in this world is God. So for me, yes, I do miss.
What's your recovery process? That intrigues me. What is your recovery? So, okay, share miss.
Dynamics.
And sometimes you feel,
so if I was in continuous play and I miss a note. I just use dynamics, go down a bit, then I come back like nothing happened, you know. Nasafisha. If I was not in continuous play, I'll actually just do a nice run, like a nice constructive run that will land me to the note that I was actually supposed to go to.
Inaitwa creativity. Unazunguka
kidogo
naenda pale
narudi hapo.
Wow, amazing. Across the journey, has there been moments that you are forced or you are in a place where you had to make a very difficult artistic decision or approach for you as an individual?
Yeah. So this takes me back to 2020. Just fresh out of high school. So when I finished high school, so I finished as a saxophonist in high school. But now I came out here. I didn't have a sax that time. So I was just there. I'm a saxophonist. You're just telling people I'm a saxophonist, but where's your sax? You know? So it took quite some bit of time. It was 2020 January there up to around July. Around July there. Then I just sat myself down and said, now the situation is dire because you're not doing any music and you don't have the sax per now. So what are you going to do? So I just decided, funny enough, I'm from the Salvation Army like background. That's where my parents actually went to church and they still go to church there. So that background, you know, Salvation Army with their brass instruments and all that. So in church, they used to have those instrumentalists, but I didn't have interest in brass instruments. I had an interest in wind. So I just decided, I'm not getting the sax now, so let me learn the trombone, which became like a literal something else. I can't even explain because when I switched to the trombone, I started learning the trombone. I played in church, got even gigs outside to play the trombone here and there. It became like a general love for me. And as fate would have put it, the following year, I got a way to have my sax, to have a sax for me to play. So I was in a dilemma because now you just stick to my trombone because I already fell for the instrument, but I'm an ironical sax. So it was a whole thing, but I just came back to my to my original roots, which was the sax in 2021. Nime push paka sasa. But now that's where the trombone is introduced. If there's some videos, I think in YouTube there, you could actually see me play the trombone. So I was not playing the sax there. I was doing trombone then. Yeah.
Director utatokea trombone. Unajua watu wanajua yanaweza kuwa wajui trombone. Waka trombone, unaandika trombone sax, wajue difference. Yeah. So what are the things that you do to just stay motivated and inspired to create fresh and innovative content for yourself? What are those practices that you do to just ensure you're staying up in the game? Because the game, people are coming in the game. And if someone comes in the game very motivated, unapatana challenge ina come through, and everyone who wants anyone to have something on their plate, they want an A game kind of material.
Yes.
So what are the things that you do to just ensure una maintain game?
That's the first thing actually. Competition, yes.
Yeah.
People are looking for flour out here.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so competition plays a big role for me because I'd go to the internet, social media hapa na pale, then I come across this post, there's this sax guy playing, I see, that motivates me. Immediately, nishafungua sax. Let's do something. The second thing is, I have a vision. I know I'm going. So if I'm not motivated enough to get to the place that I'm going, then my vision is just all talk. My vision
it becomes blood.
It's just blood.
Yeah.
Something that we always just say, mimi nataka
kufika pale.
Lazima huko napenda kwenda huko, but you're not putting in the work. You're not putting the work. So that's the very first thing. I do competition And the second thing is that vision. Like I literally know. So I have to get there. Liweli well. Come rain or sunshine. I have to get where I'm going. Yeah.
That brings me to my next question. In terms of your practice, how many hours maybe do you invest? Because at some point we can't gauge, because at some point maybe unapata uko busy unacheza vitu maybe gigs mob, vitu mob sana ziko kwa nini. But averagely, how many hours maybe do you think you put in practice in a week?
In a week?
In any instrument, yeah.
A personal practice, I'd say I'd put like an hour to 2 hours, just personal. But now we're in the music field, so you find I have practices like right now, like I have like practices each and every day, because there are a lot of things going on right now. So I have these 2 studio sessions from like Monday to the other Monday. So I get to touch an instrument, to touch my instrument that time. But in terms of individual, it's 1 to 2 hours. I know people say personal practice is boring. It's true. But you have to put in the work. You have actually to put in the work. Set aside the boringness in you. Just put in the work. Yeah.
That brings me again to the next question. What are those spaces or environments that breed you to feel creative? Some people, some of the musicians I've hosted, I think wengine wamesema they just love quiet spaces where they just go there and play their own instrument and do their own stuff. That's why maybe they gain creativity. But for you, what works out for you?
So generally, as an outgoing person, so I've grown up with a lot of peer learning influence. So usually, like the horn section of Muziq Africa, we usually meet and let's just do something, guys. So those are the few spaces that we really get to explore our creative selves, because it's not a practice session per se, but we just we are exploring like our creative spaces. So we would meet up. We are 3. We'd meet up and just do something and create. And out of those 2 small sessions, you find that you did something good. Unajua hii ni banga. This is going to be a good one. Hapo imechapwa.
Wow, such an amazing journey. And maybe for example, what are the checkpoints you do personally, individually? Same for you've done the practice sessions for the gig and everything. Ukifika tu kwa venue. Sasa umefika kwa venue. What are your preparation tactics that you do? Because for keyboards najua naambiwa wanapiga maskeli nini kidogo, fingering nini 1 2 3 some. For you, what?
For wind instruments, you can do scales, because scales is the foundation of music. But for wind instruments, we do warming with long notes. We really do long notes, because especially like this sax, you see those are alloys. So just going back to physics, is like when metals are heated, they expand and all that.
Yeah, true.
And so you really have to warm the instrument. Now that's the literal meaning of warming the instrument. You have to warm the instrument. You have to open up your fingers, because the fingers need to stretch a little bit. So we play a lot of long notes. Like you just hold one note for like a good chunk of time, like something like 2 minutes. Then you move to the next note. So you do that, then you run up a scale, without staccato, just do it continuously. You slap, so basically that's what we do.
How long can you hold a breath? Because I believe the instrument, sometimes you can hold a note for quite a while.
Yeah.
For quite a while.
30 seconds to a minute. You can do that. You can do 30 seconds to a minute. You can just hold a note.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it means the more you've practiced, the more imekufungua.
The more it grows on you.
Oh, okay. So some of the things I believe you've mentioned that ensure you develop the skill is basically reaching out or getting the content and knowing, getting just to open up your environments to new and different musics. Okay. Music encompasses both practical and theory bits.
Yeah.
So I believe both complement each other.
Yeah.
So when did you break out in terms of, did you learn theory first or you learned practical?
So they just went hand in hand because I did music in high school and continued with my music there. So they just went hand in hand. And there's something that my friend usually says. You have to know what you're playing. Like you have to explain to someone what you're playing, because
true.
if you're playing and you can't explain, you can't give a good chunk of explanation to or the theory behind what you're doing, then I feel like you're just guessing. You are not doing something that is credible, that is musically accepted. So I feel like that's guesswork. You actually have to know what you're playing, so you can explain to someone. Yeah. So theory plays that bit, that I know this one and this one and this one.
So maybe from my point of view, maybe you unanielewesha. Sasa niko class, sasa nakubali ni class. The same notes that mostly keyboardists, guitarists, major 7, they're the same notes that you have on the instrument.
Yes.
They're majorly the same.
Yeah, it's the same
major
thing.
7 minor and the same things too.
Yeah.
So director akipiga pale, you just it's a matter of knowing that.
Yeah. So what causes the difference that sax, wind instruments, those are melodic instruments. So we can't play chords we can't play chords, but playing note for note, we can play melody. No wonder in church, in gigs, we are given the music, the melodies and the interludes to do the interludes and all that, because we are the ones who play the melody, who hold the the melodies. Yes.
Oh, awesome. So maybe across your musical journey, what are some of the highlights that you took home in terms of, I believe you've played too many gigs or too many concerts, but there are some of them that were just a highlight in terms of you as a person.
It's been a good journey. It's been a good journey. One of the highlights I'd say the Nairobi Festival. It was a good exposure. In high school, jazz festival. I've had quite a bit. trying to remember. So it's not even the bigger stages actually. It's not even the bigger stages. For me, it's more of these smaller spaces that have been quite intimate to my heart, because I felt like I interacted more with the player, the audience, more than the bigger stages. Someone would say at the bigger stages, but for me it's those small spaces. They really
shape you and make you feel, indeed there is something to fancy.
Yeah, that's true.
Across your journey, have you had criticism and people maybe criticize you? Huyu boy anacheza vitu gani hivi? Siende afanye practice man. And how do you handle criticism?
First, there is positive criticism, and there is negative. There's negative criticism. So the first thing for a musician, just be ready for criticism. Be ready. If you're someone in the creative art department, just be ready. Be ready for criticism. So it's a matter of character, because how you're going to handle it will really define that situation. So I've received a lot of positive criticism, I've received a lot of negative criticism, and being with discernment, I believe like I'm well equipped to know this is positive criticism and this is negative. And I take like positive criticism to my heart a lot, because those are the things that push me to actually now to put in the work, because alisema go work on this and this and this. I'm definitely doing that so that I can come back more improved, But if it's negative criticism, just ignore the cold shoulder, because you're the one who knows how much true. And how worth it is for you to actually play what you're playing and your vision. Because if you let such things derail you, then and they get into your head, then you begin to be defined with the talk of people rather than the work that you do. Because now you are taking negative criticism into heart. Yeah.
Wow. And maybe are there instances that maybe you're in a gig or anywhere performing, then you just performed, but you felt after umetoka hapo una feel like kuna vitu zilikuwa nifanye ama una feel somehow dissatisfied with whatever you did?
The first thing is
you gave in your all, but at some point you still feel like I could have done something there, but we have that. As a musician, you have to question yourself. Like go back to if there's an audiovisual of what you did, go back and sit down and look at it. Hey, hapa si ningefanya hivi na hivi. So it builds it builds you as a musician, because now I question myself. Si ningetumia tu like pentatonic here or something rather than what I was doing here. Yes. So I question myself each and every time I play, even in church. I do question myself. Like after the service, I'll go down and sit. Said I could have done something better here. It pushes which
for
makes
you.
You now improve.
The
next time you're on it, you're like, I need to give it
something better for me.
Okay, amazing stuff. Now, beside music, tumetoka kwa music sasa. What tickles your fancy beside music? We're not now we've blocked. Spiller is no longer a musician. He's no longer playing anything. What other activities tickles your fancy?
Career-wise or just...
Career-wise. Ile time tu relax, unataka maybe relax too.
So, as I said, I'm an outdoor person. Ni mtu napenda nje sana. So, you'd find me in activities like in team building activities. You'd find me in creative spaces, not even musical. You'd find me like just attending these poetry sessions or just being in a creative room that is not even music actually. Doing my research on, I'm a big lover of history, so I really sit down and just do research on general things, even the weirdest of things. Just find me doing research on them, and and financial investing hapa na pale kidogo. So chasing down your knowledge kidogo, because as I said, we just have to be financially literate. So I'm in those spaces actually.
Do you offer those sessions, financial sessions, consultancy professionally? And how are people able to get to you in terms of that?
I actually do. I offer the financial consultancies hapa na pale. Reaching me out, you can actually reach me out on my Instagram. Then I could take you back to WhatsApp, where now I could show you now the thick of it, now the
so
business of the matter.
Depending on the nature of the client and how much
the requirements.
Okay.
So I do that.
So viewers you've heard, you can be able to get in touch with Spiller, get to his Instagram handle. He'll be able to advise you on how you can be able even to take the different financial steps towards whatever you want to achieve. And also, do you offer saxophone lessons or any horn instrument lessons?
I forgot. I'm a music teacher.
Okay.
Above everything else, I am a music teacher. I do teach in R Springs School of Music. So I'm a teacher there. I teach wind instruments there. So I can't just stay with my knowledge. I have to pass it down to those interested, because I believe people are actually missing out if you're not playing an instrument, or if you're not a musician. You're really missing out. Music really plays a big part.
Kifika weekend unakasirika, bana sasa hii weekend sifanyi kitu. Chezi kitu niko tu.
Yes. Gives you purpose.
True.
Really gives you.
Amazing. You teach both any children and grown-ups?
I do.
What's the age gap?
I do teach children and grown-ups. Like right now we have the holiday music camp, so a lot of children are really coming in for us to teach them.
Oh, amazing. Hey, that's nice. That is where now you're impacting the society kabisa. So such a good stuff and initiative you do. What's your advice to maybe someone who wants to learn the wind instruments? What's your advice to them?
First thing first, just put in, like, have a mindset that it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worthwhile. Nothing like even with diamonds, they're made out of pressure.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be easy, but just trust the process at the end of the day. And the second thing, find help. Find help. Because I believe like, even as far as much you can use YouTube and all that, but a peer who's just next to you can really go a mile for your musical journey.
I presume you can go to YouTube for 6 months, but it's just a matter of one person telling you like, hey bro, change hii kitu hivi.
Yeah.
And get to the right direction.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Life experiences really do play a big role in music, and learning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. What is that one word that defines you? One word that you just...
musical wise.
Yeah.
Tone. Tone. Yeah.
Okay. Are we expecting a Spiller live experience one of these fine days where we just get to come to your own? We just sit there for some few hours, just listen to you, do your own stuff and everything.
Just
me. yeah, just you.
I'm working on that. Actually, I'm working on that.
Wow, amazing.
I'm collaborating with SEMA. It's called the Santuri School of Electronic Music. So I'm collaborating with them. We are working with them. I'll use their space actually. So it's still in motion, and it's coming in a few months. You'll have the Spiller Friday experience.
Please hit us up. Hit us up. The whole gang has to be there. But
yeah. Pull up.
We'll pull up.
Yeah.
Even the what do you call the campaign photos and all that. Send us. We shall be able to also project in our handles as well. So social media handles, how can people get in touch with you and in terms of your content or what you do?
On Instagram, Spiller404. On Facebook, Spiller Kavugui. And my WhatsApp is my number 0743573531. It's my WhatsApp. You can reach there, and we can talk more from there. And shout out to Muziq Africa. This hasn't been said before because it's not out in public yet. We are working on our EP. It's coming this year probably. And be ready for something. Something is on there.
Wow, amazing. So hapo ndo unapiga vocals?
Hapo. Yeah, you'll actually get to hear music. I'll sing there.
Okay.
And
wow, amazing. Amazing journey from the one and only Spiller. Hey, such a good nuggets and content to get there, to just get to know that everyone you see in different fields, people have put in a lot of work, sacrifices to just, for you to see them where they are today, takes a lot of sacrifice and trusting the process, working on it till you make it.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for coming, Mwanzo. I appreciate you big time.
It's been an
honor and a privilege to just have you on the pod, Hey.
Pleasure is all mine, Mwanzo.
Yeah. Okay. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, adios.
Thank you.